Okay, welcome to another episode of Coach's Corner. Once again, look, we appreciate everybody's love out there that they're giving us. Subscribers, we're over 100,000 views right now. Appreciate all the love on YouTube, Instagram. Today I got marvelous Myquan Williams from Manchester, Connecticut, coming off a big win at Turning Stone Casino. Myquan is currently 21-0 with 2 draws. Boxing out of Manchester Rocks with Paul Chichon, Hector Rosario, and his stepdad in the corner. I've known these gentlemen for a while. We have been privileged to work with them with our fighters and always there to help us get ready. Welcome, Mikey. Congratulations again on a big win. And, it's really, really good to see the evolution of your career. And, I said this to you before, you're probably one of the best unkept secrets in boxing right now.
Appreciate it.
I mean, we know you in the state of Connecticut, and I know you have your fan base out there now. But, and obviously just to get to see you up close and not only at fights, but in the gym working with Paul, honing your craft. What do you guys, we'll jump into this a little different. Usually I go to everybody like, what was the start of you in boxing and everything? We'll kind of get to that, but, you're hot right now. Your manager's Jackie Callan. You got a great team. Yeah. You're right there in a position to make some noise in the boxing world right now. What are you looking at to do right now? And we're just going to ask the question, who are you targeting that you want to show everybody, hey, I'm for real?
To be honest, I'm just really looking to continue to win, doing it in great fashion, looking good while I'm winning. As far as whoever, someone to target, I don't really have.
Is there talk out there for you?
Yeah.
You're a pretty humble guy. You're a pretty soft-spoken guy. Yeah. You're not flash. And look, in a good way, but your skills for people who haven't seen you fight, your skills are out there, and you're an exciting fighter, strong, well-coached, good fundamentals. You've been in and out of the ring with a lot of different people since you've been an amateur.
Yeah. There's been a couple of names, but we got to see how everything plays out. You know how boxing goes. Nothing's really ever official until you get across that ring. But couple names to see how next couple months go and what goes on.
Right. Now, you guys got a real unique situation. You've been with Paul since you were an amateur. Yeah. Correct?
Yeah. A1. Yeah.
What brought you into the boxing gym?
After going to an event that my aunt was participating in, I told her I wanted to go to the gym, try boxing out. I told my mother, my mother called her, but she was training with Paul at the moment. And then she just took me to the gym, and I just stayed. I never left.
You've been there. Wow. How old are you now?
26 now.
When you started
7 going on 8, so
you're in there. It's a lifetime up there.
Yeah, damn it, 20 years.
And Paul's Paul and Hector, been around boxing in the state and on the professional level for a while. Yeah. Great coaches up there, great team all around. Shout out to the rest of your coaches up there also.
Definitely.
Not to leave them out. But, once again, your situation's unique where a fighter comes in as an amateur and just kind of goes through his whole career with the same coach and same team. Yeah. You don't see that as much in boxing anymore. People are all over. We're global. We can fight anywhere. And you and Paul have a great bond.
Yeah.
A lot of ups and downs, I'm sure, with coaches and everything else. In the beginning, how was it? Like I know Paul maybe not as well as you do, but from being in the gym and watching him coach and everything, I kind of know his style and what he brings to the table. Now you're a young man coming into the gym here, and it's like, you're working with him, and when did it all kind of come into place to say, man, I want to compete as an amateur, and I want to take this a little further? And was it easy with him?
I mean, at first, well, for anybody that doesn't know Paul, at first it's like, kind of got to get to know him because he could come off as a jerk.
Yeah.
But it's not the case. But starting off, I mean, I feel like it kind of happened pretty shortly after starting, as far as taking it a little more serious and wanting to compete and things like that. But yeah, starting off the gym, it's something. It's new as boxing. It's not. I've never done it before as a little young kid, 7 going on 8. So
yeah,
it's definitely new. It's completely different than what I'm used to, or anything I've seen before.
The discipline of the sport is like
and then just to stick with it. I mean, obviously it's something that I like.
When did you have your first amateur fight? You remember it?
I remember the fight. I don't know what the date or how.
Yeah,
old
not
I
the
was,
date, but
like,
what were you? How old?
If I started almost 8, I was probably a year or 2 after, not even maybe something like that. So maybe 9, 10.
Yeah.
I remember the first fight.
Did you catch the bug after that, or did you want to say like, I don't know if this is?
Nah, I wanted to keep going.
You wanted to keep going
for sure.
You wanted to keep rocking and rolling,
Yeah.
and then look, and, obviously, how many total amateur fights did you have?
Just shy of 60.
Not bad,
Yeah.
right? Aspirations for nationals, Olympics, or was it just at some point at that, in the state of Connecticut and around the tri-state area, you're seeing success? When did it kind of click in your amateur that I can be a pro? Or was that a conversation you and Paul had? Or
No, yeah, that's I would say a few years prior to going pro, it was a conversation. But like, I don't know, like 13, 14, like he'll mention things like, oh, a few years you could go pro. We think about time now. 3 to 4 years really not that long.
right.
But
in the boxing world, it's not.
yeah,
it
it's
goes
really
quick.
not. But as a 13, 14-year-old kid, you're like, damn, I'm
Okay.
still in middle school or whatever, elementary, whatever it is. So I would say around then it kind of clicked, like, damn, I could go pro, like be a professional. I don't think that's always been like the goal, or one of the goals rather.
Yeah.
But over time, as I'm going to all these tournaments and I'm winning and seeing all these different things and stuff like that, I feel like definitely clicked around that age. Like, yes,
You're gaining a little confidence now because now you're in the tournaments, you're fighting better fighters. And then, look, Paul's got other fighters in the gym at this time that I'm sure you're in with and being challenged. He had other pros at that time that you're working with, and you're starting to probably feel, I'm holding my own or anything right there with that. So, I mean, all this aside, after 60 fights, your decision to go pro, what led you to that? Because you were young when you turned.
Yeah.
How old were you? 18, right? You were
I was
young.
still in high school.
That's right. You were still a senior in high school.
I had a year left, but my bad. What was the question again?
So
initially,
at this point now, you got good amateur background. You're training. You're seeing success.
Right.
You sit down with your team. What was the decision to say, hey,
now
it's time?
The decision.
It's time.
I feel like turning 18 around the time when we decided. I feel like just my whole style of fighting wasn't meant for the amateurs anymore.
Wasn't meant, right?
Yeah, like it just didn't make sense. And I don't we have training camps and stuff, and you go out to these tournaments out of state. There's a lot of money spent, a lot of time, obviously, putting in training and stuff like that. And then you go out there, you do well, but to the judges' eyes, it's like you lost the fight just because you didn't throw as many punches. But
yeah, I mean,
they're not landing as much as you, but it's still like, it's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
The scoring and all that BS was a little like,
I know what you're saying. It gets to the point, and look, there's a lot of volunteers out there in USA boxing, amateurs, and I get it. And after a while, if your aspirations as a fighter is to come back in and say, hey, I'm going to be a pro, the amateur game, unless you're on the Olympic team or fighting in the Olympics, is like, okay, what do? Do do I keep continuing fighting another 20 amateur fights, or do I put myself in the water?
Right.
So at your pro debut, what weight were you? Because you're what? You fight at 40 now?
I fight at 40. My pro debut, probably about the same.
You would have, okay.
Yeah, about 41, 42, something like that, a little catch weight.
Yeah.
But about the same.
So now you go out and you're not signed at this point with anyone.
No, my pro debut, I wasn't signed.
You weren't signed with anybody. How was it getting ready for your pro debut? Nerves?
Yeah, not really, to be honest. I don't feel like I still really don't get nervous at all when I'm fighting a pro fight now in this stage, to be honest. But my first one, I didn't really view it as such a, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, I've seen you in the gym train. You've sparred with our fighters.
Yeah.
You know, seen you work with other fighters and with Paul. And you're just you're kind of like a blue collar type of guy. You don't get rattled.
Yeah.
You do your work, and you know, it kind of speaks for itself.
Right.
You know, what started to change as your fights are getting tougher now. You got 23 pro fights.
Yeah, 23 and yeah.
All right. I know you have 2 draws.
Yeah.
I saw one of them. I don't agree on that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was at that fight. I don't agree on it, but definitely probably learning experiences for you.
Definitely.
But now your fights are getting tougher.
Yeah.
How's your training changing? Because now, and what I mean like this is like, I know Paul's going to prepare you. I know
right.
that and your team's going to prepare you. But now, physically and mentally, how are you changing in your training as you're moving into your pro career? Because now you're in the business.
Yeah,
this is your life now.
Right,
like,
yeah.
You know, like you got to take care of yourself. You got to prepare yourself. Everything has a meaning now. Wins mean money.
Yeah.
Wins mean positioning. Wins mean we fight for belts.
Yeah, I feel like just making sure everything's aligned, and I have a strength coach, Carmen, out of Manchester as well. So
right.
Obviously, our work together is always great. She always makes sure I'm prepared and on weight and eating is good. As far as the boxing training, Paul's making sure that the right sparring partners are coming in for me to get me prepared for whatever task we have in front of us. So I feel like just overall it's more, you know, strategy a little bit. You know, you got to fight. Styles make fights, and everybody doesn't fight the same. So depending on who we're fighting, you got to bring that type of work in. But, yeah, I think over the years it's definitely increased a lot, everything.
Yeah, I mean, it's changing a little bit. Your recovery, you know, is important also.
Definitely.
And in the sport today, you know, we have a lot of different avenues out there, ice baths, you know, saunas, heat therapy, all that stuff to make sure that we're taking care of our bodies and everything else. Let's kind of circle back a little bit here now into your career. How does Jackie Callan appear in your career?
So Jackie, I first met Jackie, I was probably around 14. Paul introduced us because she used to work with Matt Remler back in the day.
Right.
So he always knew her, obviously, from around that time. And then he flew her in once or twice for one of my amateur fights. He held a dinner show at Nomads. He flew her in. She watched me fight, and then he was basically telling her, you know, like, few years we're gonna contact you. He wants to go pro, or we're gonna go pro, or contact you, And the time came. It's pretty like, I don't know. I feel like my story isn't maybe stuff outside of boxing, but my boxing story is pretty like, it's not like anything.
Yeah, I think you kind of, I don't know. I think you kind of negate that because you're a humble guy.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, look, your boxing story is a story. You have, you know, a Hall of Fame manager.
Right.
You know, a Connecticut Hall of Fame trainer, team, and you're a blue-collar fighter.
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't write a better story than that. So I think you kind of don't, and you just being a humble guy for yourself, don't give yourself enough credit, because I think in the sport today, that strong team behind you is going to help you in this sport.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
You know, her name, Paul's name, Hector, your team's name, definitely going to be bringing some noise in the business.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to get, you're going to get an opportunity that maybe a guy without a manager is not going to get an opportunity.
Yeah, correct.
Because, somebody could pick up the phone and say, hey, I got this guy. Let's put him on. Okay, we value your opinion. You've been in the sport. You're a professional. We're going to take it and we're going to run with it right off the rip. So, I mean, her being your manager is definitely, do you feel, I mean, I know it's benefited you.
Yeah, for
sure. I mean, obviously, right now, your focus is boxing. Yeah. You don't work a job.
No.
You're a full-time fighter, which is giving you the opportunity to be successful as far as owning your craft right now.
Yeah.
Other than what, maybe a little hand injury, you've been pretty.
Yeah,
you've been pretty lucky in the sport. I mean, for 23 fights, a
little bit of COVID and then the injury.
Yeah, I mean, but like you bounce back fast off your hand injury.
Yeah.
And never really seemed to get out of shape. And came back. I mean, that had to be a little setback for you.
Yeah, the hand injury.
Not being able to be in the gym.
Yeah, I was in the gym. I just wasn't using my hands.
You wasn't using your hands. Yeah, you're in the gym, right? You can't do your training.
Just one hand the whole time.
Yeah.
Damn.
So now, when you guys go to camp, everybody does it a little differently.
Yeah.
What's your camp life like? 8 weeks out, 10 weeks out of a fight.
Yeah.
You train mostly at home, right? You guys don't go away or anything, or
yeah, I train mostly at home.
You train mostly at home with in Manchester with Paul and Manchester Rocks. What is your camp life like? How do you guys set it up?
I say, I kind of do not my own strength and conditioning, but like I have a trainer. I would set up my schedule and things like that with her personally.
Mm-hmm.
Paul handles the boxing aspect and the sparring.
You guys going twice a day, once a day, 7 days, 6 days?
I'm training at least two times a day, sometimes 3. But on sparring days, I'll rest up. I might do some cardio in the morning, and then I'll spar at night. But the other days, definitely 2 to 3 times a day I'm training.
Yeah.
Including the boxing.
How is it training at home? How do you feel? Some fighters are not comfortable. Some are comfortable. Some, need to be around their families and friends and everybody when they're training. Is it a distraction for you? Or?
No, not really, because I'm not the type to, like, I'm the type of person, like, when I'm in training camp, even at home, it doesn't matter. I'm still not going to, you're still, like, certain people not going to be able to access me. Still.
Right.
Whether it's family or friends, like I kind of keep a little distance from everything just so I could just remain focused.
Yeah, so you can stay focused. Yeah, and I mean, I get it. I have some fighters want to be home, some that want to say, okay, we're going.
Yeah.
We're leaving. I can't be around. I can't. There's too much going on. And
I just kind of keep my distance.
With the distractions and everything else. So let's get to your last fight. I mean, you fought on a great weekend, Hall of Fame weekend up in Kennis.
It was.
Turning Stone. What was that like? I mean, I'm sure you met a lot of fighters. I know you were in the parade with Jackie. Yeah. Jackie got inducted. I mean, what was that like for you?
It was great. That's my second year up there, but this year, my manager got inducted, and then we got the big knockout win. But it was great. I met a lot of people, took a lot of pictures, seen a lot of people.
Who was somebody you wanted to meet that you met?
Ricky Hatton and Butterbean.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Butterbean was cool. I ain't chop it up with Ricky as much, but Butterbean, he was kind of sitting next to us in certain different events, and we were chopping it up.
Yeah, he's a pretty personable guy.
Yeah, he's cool as hell.
Yeah, I've heard him on some interviews and everything like that. He's a pretty personal guy. Ricky Hatton, I loved Ricky Hatton as a fighter. He was game.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's awesome. A lot of people out there. So, right now you're sitting wait. What's the plan for you right now? I mean, I know the weight and hold is bad because you're coming off the fight.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of big fights out there right now. I mean,
hopefully, man, I could slip in somewhere and be on a big platform again and against a big opponent. But as far as the waiting game, I'm getting back into the gym now. I took like a week off, just chill, hang out, recover.
Do you think because of your style of fighting, fighters shy away from you? They don't want to take a chance with you?
Yeah, I would say. Yeah, that could possibly be a thing. Yeah, especially a little bit of the older guys. You know, they don't really want somebody fast.
Well, you're game and you're fast and you're powerful.
Good
You can
on
punch to the
feet.
body and the head.
Yeah.
So, you know, you become a little bit dangerous to some of these guys out there. You know, I know there's a lot of names out there, but your patience in this sport is definitely something we don't see with a lot of people out there.
Right.
Fighters get fast tracked, some good, some bad.
Right.
Your path in boxing has been very well. For people who don't know boxing, okay, it's a very well calculated plan.
Correct. Yeah.
You know, like everything I know, your team probably sitting down saying, this is the course we're going. We're going to take this fight, this fight, this fight, this, or this guy no good, whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
But time is coming.
Yeah,
Time is coming.
for sure.
Time is coming for you to, you know, get out there not only for state of Connecticut and your, you know, local fans in Manchester and everybody else around, but to show off skills you have. How would you compare yourself as a fighter? Who would you say somebody that you looked at as a fighter and said, "Look, I like that style." And I know you got your own style, but we all put a twist on something. We all see somebody that
I don't know. For real, I don't know, to be honest. Like,
right. So I mean,
I don't know.
You're a creation of Paul.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know though. But
You know what I mean? Like he concocted everything up that. I mean,
I don't know. I could, you know, like you just said, you could. Some fighters you could be like, oh, he probably studied this dude a lot, or he watches this guy a lot. I mean, I watch several people, but as far as me, my style, I'm not sure who I could compare it to.
I mean, you know, for people who don't know you outside of the boxing world, right? You know, they look at you and they say, man, people don't realize how you can punch.
Yeah.
You know, people don't realize you got knockout power, you got body power. I've seen it. You know, you obviously know it.
Yeah.
And, you know, how did that come about for you? Was it years of repetition? Was it there? I mean, what?
I would say always had a little pop, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, as you getting older and I start training my strength coach, getting stronger. And then, you know, I'm only 26, so I'm still growing a little bit.
Yeah.
So just over the time, over the years, I feel like now I'm really starting to like feel I have that type of power.
Yeah, you're starting, like you said, because now you're getting older, your body's filling out into you know, and you're adding a strength coach who's going to make you a little stronger with your core and your fundamentals a lot better there as you go along. I wanted to ask you one other thing here while we're talking about that. In a fight now, I know you're a body snatcher. Is that what you're looking for, mostly breaking down fighters when you fight? And look, I get it, different fighters, different game plan.
Yeah.
But your strength is body head. Is that what your go-to is in a fight? And I know you could box, but break yourself down a little bit here. Break your style down for everybody.
I feel like the main thing for me is to go in there is kind of gather some information the first round or two.
Right.
While I'm like, you know, putting a stick in his face or something, just something to gauge. And then I feel like over the rounds, I like to break my opponent down by but I would say both head and body though. Both head and body. Just little pop shots, countering, making you second guess of throwing something or hesitating to throw something because you know I'm going to come over or counter you.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So it's like, I feel like a lot of it is or a huge part of it will be mentally, how I break people down.
I mean, how do you feel? I know you've went 10 once, right? You
10 rounds? Nah, I've been 10 rounds a few times.
A few times, right? Yeah. Okay. How do you feel going into deeper fights, 10 to 12 round fights?
I feel like it favors me.
Is it because of your patience?
Yeah.
And you are a very patient fighter for people. again, a lot of people might not have seen you fight. I recommend them definitely watch them.
Yeah.
But, you are a patient fighter. You take your time early in the fight to do what you got to do and break down a fighter.
Yeah.
As it goes deeper now, title fights 12 rounds.
Yeah.
Definitely, you feel that plays into your favor?
Yeah, I definitely think because I usually normally I'm kind of a slow starter. Like I just said, take me a round or two to get going, just so I could kind of figure out what you got going on, and then as the rounds go on, I pick it up little by little.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it favors me. 10, 12 rounds will favor me because I start a little bit slow, get to figuring them out. Then once I do that, it's like just consistent.
Then you're
sailing.
consistent.
Yeah.
Let's talk about, you've had 2 draws
Yeah.
in your career.
Yeah.
And I saw the Wiggins fight.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely don't agree with that decision in that fight.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you don't either. And, and we can talk about judges and everybody else, but, that's boxing, and unfortunately it is. What was, after the draws, okay, now you're tasting victory throughout your career.
Yep.
And how did that affect you, and what did you do when you went back in the gym to make adjustments on those?
I feel like the 2 draws is just like, it's an eye-opener for many reasons. Obviously, you get a draw. It's much better than a loss. Obviously,
yeah,
you still got your O, but it's still like you got to go make adjustments and see what went wrong and what you got to do for the next time. But I don't know. I felt like I was upset, like very, very upset about the draws. Very upset about them. But I mean, no, we went back. We rearranged some things rather.
Yeah.
Talk some stuff out. See what we could do. What I have to do, or not to do. But yeah, I feel like it's all a learning process.
Yeah, definitely a learn. Now, let's go to the Wiggins fight, because I did see that fight. Did you feel? I mean, I thought you were in control of that fight.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you feel at any time that maybe you were stepping off the gas, that there was a possibility that, maybe the judges were going to rule a different way, or?
Nah, I kind of felt like I said earlier, I'm a little bit of a slow starter, so maybe the first couple rounds, he probably edged it just from his activity, but
yeah.
Other than that, I felt I was in control, landing the cleaner shots, pressing, moving forward. But little things I could have probably done a little bit better, like cutting the ring off. And
yeah, I mean, look, we go back.
Stuff,
Hindsight's 20/20, right?
Yeah.
We look at the fight and we say, "Oh, I could have did this better, or I missed a shot here, or I should have took a shot there," whatever the case may be with that. But like you said, it's a learning experience, and you are here where you are today, doing what you're doing. If it wasn't boxing, what would it be?
Shit, I don't know. Hopefully out of trouble.
Yeah, well, besides that, right? Like
I don't know what it
no
would
other
be.
sports, nothing.
I mean, I played around a little basketball a little bit, but not like nothing serious as boxing.
Nothing.
Nah.
Right?
Nothing
so
serious.
I mean, I know you dabble with a little chili.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. Tell me how that came
Chili's
about,
the
because
best.
I see that.
Yeah, my chili's the best, man.
Yeah.
But it's weird. A few years ago, sometimes I'm in the house and stuff, and I just get in the mood to cook certain stuff. Like, I don't know, it might be a video I've seen online, or I just get in these moods sometimes. So chili was around that time.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, I want some chili. I'm going to try to make some. So I tried it. Then I'll give it to Paul. First few times, I'm like, Paul, try this chili for me. I made it. And he'll try to give me feedback. And then eventually it just like kept getting better. So I started to give it sell it.
So it's got a little life to itself.
Nah, yeah,
is that
for
something
sure.
you're gonna see something like a little bigger than what it is now?
Yeah, I hope so.
I
hope I could turn this to something, as my buzz in the boxing game grows and increases. But I feel like it's some good stuff.
I mean, we got to have something to fall back on.
Yeah, right.
Got to, a little,
plan B.
You know what I mean? So, definitely, if you see yourself training people.
Yeah, I do too. I definitely see that.
I mean, I know I've watched you. I know a lot of the kids look up to you up there.
Yeah.
You've been a very, very big role model in that community.
Yeah.
And a big role model, and I've seen you work with some of the other younger kids up there.
Yeah.
How would you rate yourself as a trainer if you had to train people?
Right now, how I rate myself?
No, maybe not right now, but you know,
I think I'll be decent.
you got the experience. So,
Yeah.
first of all, look, you've already got 23 pro fights.
Yeah.
Right? So right there, that's the pedigree.
Right.
You know what it takes to get somebody ready. You know what it's like to be in there and punch.
Yeah.
Can you convey it?
Yeah, I think I can. I think I'll be a good trainer for real. I think I definitely will.
Well,
because I understand, Like some people could tell you.
But you
to
guys
do
come out of
something,
a thinking. You come out of a thinking gym.
Yeah.
Paul's technical. Paul is very, even though he might not say a lot.
Yeah.
You guys got a very good yin and yang.
Yeah.
And I know Hector too. Hector is like, but let's talk about training with Paul a little bit. We're gonna put him on the spot a little bit right here. You know what I mean? Because I know probably a lot of people don't know a lot about him.
Yeah.
As a trainer, and pretty much he's got you, Stevie Coleman, whoever else he's got in the gym. I don't want to miss anybody or disrespect anybody.
Yeah.
I know he trained Matt Remillard for a long time.
Yeah.
How does that dynamic continue for you and him? Now, you guys have evolved almost to like a father-son.
Yeah.
But now, you're not Mikey the kid anymore.
Right.
Okay? You got some weight under your belt, and you're definitely a smart fighter. You're not a guy like, okay, run through the wall, coach.
Yeah.
Now you're putting input in. Do you guys butt heads?
No, never really.
Come on.
I swear.
Just because he's out there, man.
No. I gotta drive back with him too.
Yeah.
Nah. I swear we never really even butt heads.
Yeah.
I swear, not really.
Yeah.
I can't really.
Tell me about his coaching style. Tell everybody about his coaching style because
he's very. I say he's very firm, right? He wants you to do specific shit, or stuff.
No, you can curse. It's all right. Don't worry about it.
So he wants you to do specific shit. He wants you to take it, like all right, I'll go back to our amateur days. We only do 3 rounds. Sometimes it's 2 minutes, sometimes a minute and a half, whatever the case is. So we'll train, we'll do our training camp, whatever, get prepared for the fight. And one of the main things he always says, you got to get that first round. Go out there, get the first round. Dictate, start first, dictate. Show him who's the boss. That's like a familiar thing that he always is firm about.
Yeah, that's one of his key points is you're walking out of the locker room.
Yes, you got to get the first round. And then after you get the first round, they're playing catch up. They got to catch up. They got to try to win the second round and then the third round, whatever. But I don't know. It's just a lot. It's too much to even probably say in this conversation. But
yeah,
Paul's a great trainer though. He cares.
No, listen.
He cares is one of the biggest things that he cares about his fighter. He's not doing it just for a fucking paycheck or just to say he's a trainer. He cares about his fighters. He treats them accordingly.
I think that's an important part as being a trainer. Look, if you really got to break it down in this sport, there are trainers out there making big paychecks. They have 20 different fighters fighting every weekend, whatever the case may be. They have no time to care. You're just another fighter that comes in and they're getting ready. Personally, me, I'm hands-on. I believe you got to connect with your fighter.
Yeah.
That fighter's got to believe in you as much as you believe in him. And
Trust
not
you,
only when he's winning.
Right.
Not only because, you know what?
That's a big point.
Because fighters, people think fighters are not smart people.
Yeah.
Okay? But a fighter's going to sense personality, especially if he's around you. He's going to sense if you're with him or if you're not with him. And I think when a fighter's up, everybody wants to. That. Everybody, you're the best, Mikey. Yeah, you're the best, man.
Everything's good.
Yeah, you got tickets
winning.
for me, man.
Right,
you got
right.
this.
Yeah.
You're the best, right?
Yeah.
But when you take an L or you fight, oh, man, what happened there? What happened there? It's your trainer that goes back and tells you the truth.
Mm-hmm.
He's the one who's going to tell you the truth. He's going to say, listen, you sucked.
Yeah.
Okay? It's okay. You sucked.
Yeah.
But we live to fight another day.
Right.
Or maybe you didn't say, maybe he's not going to say it that way. Maybe he's going to say, look, you didn't fight the fight that you were supposed to fight.
Yeah.
And this is what happened. And we're going to regroup.
Yeah.
Okay? and you're gonna pick your head up, and you're gonna go back, and you're gonna go into the gym, and bring it back up there. And that's what I think a lot of people don't understand about boxing is, look, they'll see the big fight, they'll see everybody in the corner. Oh wow, man, they don't realize, and I talk about this all the time. They don't realize what 8 to 10 weeks to get you ready for that fight, for that knockout on Saturday night.
Right.
Okay, what went into that fight?
Right.
Okay, maybe you weren't feeling good for camp.
Yeah.
Maybe you were having personal issues with your family. It could be
It's
a
a
zillion.
lot
It could be a
people don't-
zillion
yeah.
things going on.
Right.
That we got to play through this and still get you ready.
Right.
Maybe it's like, I get what you're saying, but you got a lot of different personality. Now you got Hector and Paul.
Yeah.
How does that mesh in that corner?
It's good.
It does work, I know. But
It definitely works. Yeah, it's good though. It definitely works. But you gotta have a little fun when you're training. Can't be
No, I agree.
you gotta have a little fun, but definitely when it's time to put the work in, you gotta put it in no matter what.
Yeah,
And then
I think you got to have diversification.
yeah.
You can't have two trainers that are the same way.
Yeah, no.
You got to
definitely.
have one trainer. Usually one trainer is a good cop, one bad cop.
Yeah.
Good cop, bad cop type of thing. And you know what? But it's four eyes.
Correct.
If I'm working with Benny. Benny has a different look than I do. And he'll say,
yeah.
"Oh, I see this. Okay, look, let's try that. Let's do this. Let's do that. I see this. I see that."
Yeah.
But you know what? At the end of the day, you build it around the fighter.
Correct.
At the end of the day, it's what you're doing that matters, that we put together with that.
Right.
So, locally, I know you fought locally coming up through the ranks, right?
Yeah, a bunch of times.
Do you see yourself back in the casino?
I hope. I want to be.
We got Mohegan Sun right there.
Yeah.
You're a stone's throw away.
Yeah.
Even Foxwoods, but I think Mohegan's a little bigger venue. Perfect fit for you.
Yeah, shit.
I
I fought Mohegan only once during the COVID, and then I fought Fox was majority of my first half
on
of
the
my,
up and coming, right?
But I would like to get back in the casino for sure.
You fought in the bubble during COVID, didn't you?
Yeah, that was weird too.
Yeah.
A little different.
Was that wasn't on the Romero fight? What fight were you on? What card?
Damn. I know a couple fights fell out that card.
Yeah.
Even like 2 teams. I don't know who the main card.
Yeah.
No, I was the main. Correct. I was the main. Excuse me. But I wasn't supposed to be in the main event that card. It was supposed to be somebody else. But two fights fell through.
Yeah.
I forget who it was. But yeah, that was in 2021
And nobody's there.
January. Yeah, no, it's weird.
Nobody's there. You're here.
Commentators, like everybody
You
talking.
hear the punches.
It's like in this room, like you can hear everything.
Yeah, you can hear everything like crazy.
And drop.
But to see you fight locally again on a big venue against somebody, maybe
that'd
a
be-
title fight up
that'd be
there
great.
is definitely something to look forward to there.
Definitely.
Going forward here now with this in between, how do you stay focused without a date? It's the hardest thing as a fighter.
Yeah,
Tell
it
me how you get through it, because you're tweaked right now, right? You're coming off a big win, right? You know it.
Yeah.
You're in the rankings.
Yeah.
Okay. And fights are happening.
Right.
There's fights out there happening, and you're saying, "Where's my name?
Right.
When am I getting that call?" How do you stay ready for this? Because the
like-
next calls, right? They're gonna call you, and they're not gonna tell you, "Hey, you got 10 weeks."
Yeah.
You know.
Nah, yeah. But just staying in the gym, staying around the gym environment.
Yeah.
I feel like that's probably the first huge step, staying around the boxing thing. Because, you stay,
Yeah.
people can stay out of the gym 2, 3, 4 weeks. I'm like, damn, I got to go to the gym.
Do you get stale? Does it run stale for you? Look, I think it's a fact with every fighter. Some
Yeah.
fighters will admit it, some won't.
Yeah.
What is it for you?
Probably a little bit. If I don't have a date, because I like working towards something.
Like all fighters, of course.
I like working towards something. But it's like, I'll still be in the gym. I'll still spar a little bit just to
Right.
stay sharp.
Does the intensity of your training change?
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure, definitely, absolutely.
Sparring
around-
less?
Yeah, I spar less. Probably won't spar like the best opposition or the best sparring partners out the gate for sure. But as the camp, continues and we get deeper into camp, that will switch.
Right.
But just looking at the bigger picture.
Yeah.
Like, I know possibly is a big fight coming up. This is a time where I should be on my P's and Q's for sure.
Who, you talk about your sparring partners. Who have you worked with that's really, challenged you? Let's put it that way, as a sparring partner.
Last few camps, I always work with Jermaine a lot. For like, because like either he's got a fight coming up or I do, or it's like around the same time. A couple of camps ago, I was working with Michael Rivera, the Ali kid.
Okay.
I usually work with Alejandro a lot from Rhode Island or New London area. There's a kid out of Waterbury I was working with last camp that switches. I don't want to say his name because I'll probably mess it up. But the kid out of Waterbury that was helping me out last camp a lot.
Right.
He's like a 147.
Who, Mikey Kimball?
No.
Okay.
He's an amateur still. But
he's an amateur still?
He's good work, though.
Right.
We got him coming down for a few weeks.
Have you been in camp with anybody big? Yourself?
Garcia, Danny.
You went with Danny, right? How was that?
That was cool. I liked it. I was there for like a week and a half, 2 weeks. It was cool.
Did you get a lot of work with him, or?
Yeah, we sparred. I think he has like three sparring sessions scheduled a week, something like that. I don't know if it was a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or like a Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, something like that.
Cool. How'd you hold your own? How'd you feel? Now you're at like, you know what? And that's another thing. Like, look, you walk into a camp with a guy like that who's been around, and you got to feel good coming out of there. If you're saying like, "Here, man, I'm working with a former world champion."
Yeah. I feel like I did good with him. I feel like I gave him good work for whatever fight he had coming up.
Right.
I forget which one it was, but yeah, I felt good. I feel like I belonged there for sure. I ain't feel like awkward or weird that I don't belong in the ring with him. But I feel like I did good.
And I think really to be successful going up, you need to have that answer.
Yeah, for sure.
You need to have that answer. Like, I mean, like, look, when you go out and you start challenging yourself in different gyms with different fighters, and you say, hey, that guy might be ranked above me, and I just gave him 6 good rounds.
Right.
Or might be a former champion or a champion or whatever the case, and
kind of gauge
I'm
yourself.
out there holding my own, saying, you know what? And then they're giving you feedback, hey, I can feel your punches.
Yeah.
You do this well, you do that well, need to work on this, whatever the case may be with that. But, I mean, it's tough right now, I guess, to sit and be in that holding pattern, to be in that, and I know I'm going to put you on the spot again. I know you said, look, but there's got to be a name out there that you're looking at, that you want. I mean, that's
that I want. I really don't care who they throw at me.
Right.
As long as everything makes sense, I don't really care. But I feel like I'll say this. I feel like I belong.
Who does your style fit right now? If you were to make a fight, a name came out, your style fight that you would say, yeah, that's the style fight I want right there. That's the fighter I want. I think the styles match up right. And I know Paul threw a name out. I'm not gonna say it, but Paul threw it out. But who do you feel your style would match up against right now? Let's put it that way.
Anybody. I feel like I can fight several different ways. So like whoever you throw at me, I can adjust.
You
can
make the adjustment.
Yeah, whether it's a boxer or somebody that comes forward or whatever it is, I feel like I can do both. I can press. I could move on my back foot and fight off my back foot.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just got to see what's coming.
We go back, to you. You're a very easygoing, humble type of guy. How is it fighting in front of a big crowd for you? Do you hear it?
Yeah.
Somebody asked me earlier about, I usually, when I'm working a corner, I don't hear too much except what's around that ring.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know why. It just happens that way.
I tell my friends and family this too. But you can finish. Yeah,
but for you, how is it walking into that?
So like
the first time you walked into a big place fighting in front of a lot of people.
It's I try not to pay attention to whoever's there. I try to
tunnel
zone in.
Right.
But then when I get in the ring, I'm kind of looking around to see who's around.
Yeah.
Then when the fight starts, kind of really can't hear much but the corner. Sometimes here and there, I'll hear like certain people from certain areas. And then, like after the fight, I can kind of look to that area like, oh, he was probably the guy that was yelling, talking shit.
Or maybe a voice that that you hear in the arena. and I know it affects everybody a different way. You know, some fighters get a little starstruck, some don't matter. It's just
I
another
don't really
day.
pay too much mind to it. I hear it. I hear some stuff though.
Yeah, it's another walk in the park.
Yeah.
Now you fought at Turnstone a couple times now.
Yep. Twice.
I
That's a nice venue.
It's a nice venue, right?
Nice venue.
That could become a home for you.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you know, we're talking places to see where you're comfortable, where you've put on good performances in front of a lot of people now and building your base. With the way everything is going right now, and again, I'm going to talk about you being very quiet at home. I know today's fighter there's a lot of social media.
Yeah.
Are you up on the social media? Are you out there? Hey, well, I know some guys are like, they got people all day. Yeah. They're putting stuff up. I'm here, I'm training, yada, yada, promoting. Are you that guy? Are you that type of guy?
Not all day, every day. I post stuff to keep like my supporters and fans updated on everything. But I'm not like an all day, every day type of dude on social media. I keep up with stuff though. Like I read and I keep. But like me posting personally, no. I'm not like an all day type of dude.
Do you think in today's generation, as a fighter, I know it's important stuff, but does it maybe not help you as much for the not average boxing fan to know who you are? Boxing people are going to know who the fighters are. The hardcore boxing people they're going to rattle names off. They know who the 100th fighter in BoxRec is. Oh, blah, 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 blah. They know.
Right.
But now we're out there in a society where we want to sell to the fan who's going to come to the fight, who's not your hardcore fan.
Right.
Do you think that's an important part?
Yeah, I do. Because that's what is boxing really about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to sell. Well, any promoter, too. They want you. They like people that sell tickets. They sell whatever. So I definitely think it's important. Definitely today's age and group that we got of current fighters. But
yeah,
I don't know.
But you guys come more of out of that old school mentality. You have, you underpromise and overdeliver type of gym. You know what I mean? Like you're not telling everybody what you're doing every day.
Yeah.
You're just muddling through till the fight comes. And
that's how I like it though. Really.
Yeah, I like it too. I think, you know what? I think when you go to camp at the level you're at right now, you have to go down into a certain lockdown.
Yeah.
You're not selling tickets for the local promoter anymore. You're fighting on a big venue. Your focus is to get ready for the fight.
Right.
You have to go down into some sort of lockdown and say, look, okay, maybe you have somebody post a couple things. Hey, we're training, blah, 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 but we're not putting up every move that we're making out there for the world to see.
Right.
You know, I get the promotional part, but I kind of like that old school mentality, like, you go radio silence.
Right.
Because there's too many people looking.
Yeah, there is.
There's people looking for the edge to say, okay, if you're putting up, I'm sparring with, Danny Garcia, Mikey Garcia, or you could throw all the names. Your opponent's saying, holy shit. Now they're looking to see what you're doing. Now they're looking for footage to try to get an edge on you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a lot, bro. That's a lot.
There's a lot out there today. Look, I go back to fighting like with Paul, man. You had to either get a VCR if there was video on a guy and get a tape from somebody or whatever. But now we pull up our phones. We can get, if that guy fought somewhere,
pull it up quick.
We pull up a fight and we could study fights all day long with that. So that being that. After boxing, what do you see yourself doing? Boxing stops tomorrow. And I know you said you're not sure, but...
Yeah, I think I'm going to be involved in boxing afterwards, too. Right. Whether it's training somebody or people or some type of promoting thing. I feel like I'm going to be involved in boxing still after I'm done fighting.
Yeah.
Maybe
you like coaching the kids?
Yeah, I enjoy it for real. Like, I like it. I don't know. It's not like it's not something I do just because I feel like I have to because they may look up to me or I'm just in the gym. Like, I like showing people to do things correctly or how to punch, how to turn, whatever the case may be. Like, I enjoy it.
Yeah, but you're a true story. Like, you know what? Like, many fighters can't talk about being, we said this earlier and they'll say it again, you started from A with your trainer.
Yeah.
From the first day of how to lace up your gloves, tie your shoes, stand,
Everything,
wrap your hands, the whole personal etiquette of boxing from A to B right then. Whereas that's what people don't realize about our sport, what boxing is, fundamentals of boxing have not changed.
No.
Doesn't matter, man.
Right, yeah,
Fighters changed.
Right.
Styles have changed a little bit. Physique, strength.
Yeah.
We have more athletic boxers today than probably before. But the basics of boxing, of how to throw a punch, how to stand, defense, counters, they're all the same.
Yep.
Footwork, so learning that fundamental and carrying it over into coaching, you've had great exposure. Like a lot of people who go into coaching have not had good mentors or good coaches around them to say, I've learned from this one, I learned from that one, I watched, I see, I did whatever. You had that base. So for you to carry that over to a young kid or to a young fighter is, hey, this is what I learned, this is what I've done as a fighter, and for you to be successful, you want to follow the same route. Certain things you have to be done.
For sure. Yeah.
Certain things. Couple of things we kind of do here when we wrap this up. First of all, where can people find you on your social media?
So all my accounts, whether it's Facebook or Instagram, Twitter, whatever, is Marvelous Mike. Mike is MYKE, not I. MYKE.
Right. Anybody you want to shout out while we're here?
Yeah, my team, my family, my son.
How old's your son now?
He'll be 3 in October.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Does he come watch you fight?
Yeah.
Yeah? What does he think about that?
He's
ready to go?
Yeah,
he's ready to go. I know some dads will kind of hold off a little bit, but
he's in the gym with me too during camp. He comes in on sparring days.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome job. We're going to be looking to see what comes up for you next.
Definitely.
Obviously. And I kind of finish up a couple questions here with everybody who kind of comes in here is, look, if you were in a foxhole, who's the guy next to you?
I was in a foxhole?
Mm-hmm.
Who was the guy next to me?
Who are you picking to be next to you? You fighting in a foxhole. Who's the guy next to you? You got one guy. Pick him. Anybody. I don't care.
He's with me, right?
He's with you.
Shit. Like a Tyson or something.
Okay. I'm going to give you 3 dinner guests. You get 3 people to take to dinner. They could be dead, alive. It doesn't matter. You want to go to dinner and have a conversation with them. Who are they?
Floyd. And I'll pick my manager and my promoter, Jackie and Lou DiBella.
Well, first of all, if you go to dinner with Lou DiBella, you're not going to be able to talk too much. You know he's going to talk more than anybody else. Okay?
we were just at dinner with him back in February.
Yeah. Yeah. How much did you and Paul talk? What'd you say? Hello? And that was it? It was done, right?
Lou was a cool dude.
Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, that's awesome right there. But, look, everybody, this is one of the best kept secrets right here in boxing out here.
Appreciate it.
Marvelous Myquan Williams. He's 21-2. He will be taking a big fight soon. Watch him. You will see him. Please give him a look. Very exciting, very talented fighter coming out of Manchester Rocks with his team, Paul Chinchan, Hector Rosario, and everybody up there. Much respect to them guys. They do a great job here. And, once again, I'd like to thank my guys at Club 93 for the hat and the shirt. Appreciate the love. Appreciate all the supporters out there. Give Mikey a look on his Instagram and Facebook. Give him some support. And we'll see you again on Coach's Corner.
Definitely.